register. In other words, attendance. So we need to know that you attended the meeting. So please do that now if you have not.
Can you put back up for me, Ms. Starr? I think it's. Thank you.
So I want to start off by saying welcome. And I am so thankful to see you. Who knows what happened in the less than 2 weeks? Who knows what happened in less than 2 weeks? What natural disaster happened? Yes, a tornado. And I don't know if anyone was totally impacted, but many of you were impacted, or your friends, or your grandparents. So I'm just glad to see you here safe. I'm glad to see that you made it out tonight. And I'm just happy that you are here. Okay, so a lot is going on, but we are glad to see you despite all that has happened in less than 2 weeks. Okay, so we are here for a special reason tonight. Why don't you just turn to somebody and say, glad to see you? Because you didn't have to be here, right? You could be homeless, you could be injured. So glad to see you. So listen, we are here to talk about our Summer Scholars Academy. Okay, so our objectives, we've already done the welcome. I am Donnie Harris, Mrs. Harris, and I am the director of the Educational Talent Search Program. And my partner in crime here is Mr. Kevin Todd. He is the director of the Upward Bound Program. We have other staff here. Mr. Pierce, would you raise your hand? Any other staff? Ms. Middleton, Ms. Meriwether, Ms. Jabbar, Ms. Brown, Dr. Hudson, Ms. Hill, Mr. Will. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for being here with us. Ms. Brown, yeah, I got Ms. Brown. Okay, thank you. So we are here to review the Summer Scholars Program. How many of you have been in the Summer Scholars Program previously? Anybody? Raise your hand if you've been in it. Okay, anybody want to share one word? A positive one word that, if it's bad, let me know though, because we do want your feedback. We want to doing the right thing. Anybody want to share one word that maybe may describe the experience that you had with the program? Great. Bell? Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Raise your hand again if you were in the program. Oh, now you're not gonna raise your hand, Devin. I see. Okay. Okay, well, thank you. Who's here for the first time? Who's here for the first time? Okay, great. So we want to talk about the program. We're going to hear about our summer program and our college tour. We're going to hear about Canvas, which is a teaching and learning software that we will be using this summer. Some of you may be familiar if you're in high school. Some of the high schools use Canvas for their software, for submitting all of your assignments and getting assignments and everything. Attendance, attire, and attitude. We're going to talk about that as well. Okay. And then there's some important forms and some housekeeping at the very end. Next slide. Okay. So who are we? Who are you? Who are we? The Higher Education Consortium, which is HEC. That's the organization that hosts us. They've been around for over 60 years now. And so we are excited to be sponsored by them. Upward Bound Program, Mr. Todd, that's his program. And Educational Talent Search Program, that's the program that I'm the director of. These programs are federally funded and they're pre-collegiate programs designed to help assist low-income first generation. What does first generation mean? If I say you're a first generation student, or we're trying to help our target is first generation students, what would you think that means? Anybody? First, thank you. First to go to college in that family, potentially, because you may have a parent in college right here, or you may have an older sibling in college, but basically no one has really acquired a college degree. So you would be considered first generation. Also, marginalized students. So, you might not be you might not be low income, you may not be first generation, but maybe there's no program like this within the school district that you're in. Or maybe you're still struggling a little with culture or struggling with your work. You need help for your writing assignment, your research paper or whatever. So we are still available for you as well. And we want you to develop the skills that you need to stay in school, finish high school, and then have post-secondary education. Okay? Post-secondary means whatever you do after high school that gives you a certificate or associates or a bachelor's, who knows, a master's or maybe even a doctorate. Okay? So our services include academic support, tutoring, financial aid assistance, and college readiness skills. So the great thing that has happened is UB and ETS work together. Somebody mentioned about the Upward Bound program. You can be an ETS, and if you will commit to going to school 2 Saturdays a month and you're in high school, or if you're getting ready to go to 9th grade, you could be a part of the Upward Bound program and still be in my program. If you're not in their program at all, but you need tutoring, you need help in math, this algebra, I just don't get it. It's just kind of difficult for me. Come to Saturday, Upward Bound, or you can do it on Zoom virtually. So we are here to help you succeed in school and in life. Okay? So I just want you to know. So guess what? That's what happened. We combined our summer programs, and thus Summer Scholars was launched. So it's no longer UB summer program and ETS summer program. Now it is Summer Scholars program. Okay. So someone just mentioned, I just talked to someone about their 7th grader, and we want them to stay and listen. But Ms. Hill, can you come and tell us about our middle school program? So if you're in ETS, that's the one difference about the programs. ETS, we start in middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Ms. Bell, raise your hand. Ms. Bell, raise your hand. Ms. Bell's son, who's graduating, has been in our program since middle school, since like 6th or 7th grade. And so he has a scholarship and he's going to Columbia, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Chicago, yes. So it does help if you participate. He didn't just join, he participated in a lot of the activities that we do. Ms. Hill, tell us what we have for middle school.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, and I get that kind of low. Good evening, everyone. All right, you got some nourishment in the house. That's great. My name is Ms. Hill. I work with the ETS program as an educational advisor, middle school and high school. I have Carlane as one of my target schools, Compton Drew, and also CVPA. So it's glad to see everyone out. And many of you I've seen since 6th grade. So this kind of the perfect way for me to kind of share a little bit. Because we want to make certain that 6th and 7th graders do have an opportunity to have action on a college campus. Many of them had been with us at SLU, but we found a really nice opportunity to partner with Harris Stowe and Verizon. And for 6th and 7th graders, and they will also accept some 8th graders too, but we've been focusing on 6th and 7th graders. They can be involved in a program that involves robotics, virtual reality, opportunities to be on the Harris Stowe campus, and all of this is free of charge. And as Verizon would say, can you hear me now? So essentially, can you hear me now? So essentially, for those of you, it's still a program that's still open. If you want to, you can take that QR code in if you know someone that still has a 6th or a 7th grade, or if you have a 6th or 7th grade that's not enrolled in that program, but that's a free program. It starts on June the 9th and it goes through the end of the month. So it goes from grade 6. And actually, they are taking rising sixth grader. So if you know of a fifth grader, they are taking a rising sixth grader. But how many people that are here have participated in that program here in Stowe? Can I see your hands, please? All right, hold on my pack so I can see. Okay, so you can see that the TRIO program has partnered with them, and we now are taking these students forward towards high school and the college opportunities that they'll have here. But Dr. Jelana Williams is the head of that program at Harris Stowe, and they do a lot of wonderful things. They have a fall program, a spring program, and also the summer. So we're hoping that you sign up, but if you want to, you can just use that QR code. You can contact me or Mrs. Harris or any of us at TRIO, and we can direct you in that way. Any questions or anything? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's what we have for middle school. That's what we have for middle school. And we already mentioned high school. But guess what? We have,
Aquí tiene mi papi ahí. Mira.
we have a program that will assist adults as well. We have a new person. I always joke and tell you, we have the stars. Do you know we have the original Lauryn Hill? Anybody know? You heard of the famous Lauryn Hill? We have the original Lauryn Hill. Guess what? Now we have a great actor, except for when he hit that, slapped my other friend. But we have a new person, Will Smith. He's the director of the Educational Opportunity Center. Come on down, Mr. Smith. So this is our other star, Will Smith. Lauryn Hill, Will Smith.
We went to DC together. Start Trump.
Good evening, everybody, again.
Good evening.
So that is my former picture up there on the screen that y'all see. But my colleague, her name is Lauren Little. She's going to be with us as well. We good? Okay. Well, my name is Will Smith. I am the director of the TRIO EOC. EOC means Educational Opportunity Centers. It is for adults ages 19 years old and up who are interested in going back to college or going to college for the first time. So what we do, we service about 4,440 participants. So we help you with your FSA ID. That's when you're trying to fill out your FAFSA forms, your federal financial aid forms as well. We also help with scholarship searches and a host of other things. And we also put you into a pipeline of networking with other community partners as well. So if you're interested in going back to school, if you're interested in going to school for the very first time, our table is out front. Feel free to stop by and talk to us. We can give you some information and we can start you getting back into the process of wanting to go back to school or to get in school for the first time. You have anything that you want?
I was just going to say that my name is Lauren. I'm going to be your point of contact for our new alumni program. So anybody in here, once you're graduated from Upward Bound or ETS, we'll be putting you in our alumni program. And that's just something that we're starting so that you guys can have a safe place, you know, someplace to call home after you're done with Upward Bound and ETS. And then hopefully as you go on to EOC and you finish that program, you're still alumni. So this is something for all of your children to take advantage of, and the adults who do EOC. Networking opportunities, we'll be having events, there will be a Facebook and Instagram page. So just something to make sure that, you know, when things are done, you don't feel like, okay, like now what? You know, you can always come back to us and we'll help you as much as we can. So nice to meet everybody.
So we'll see y'all out front if you have any questions.
so once you're with us, you're with us. We have services from middle all the way to adults. And now we want to be able to keep up with the graduates. So when you graduate, you are an alumni. If you graduate from ETS or Upward Bound, meaning from high school, then you become an alumni for our group. Okay, so we want to keep in touch with you. And even though you've gone on, you might still need help with that FAFSA. You know, you have to fill it out every year. You may need help, even though you're a sophomore in college. You may need help. we're here for you. EOC can service those needs, okay? And any other situations, we want you to succeed. Okay, let's get into our program. These are the dates, June 2nd, which is Monday. Okay, June 2nd through July 11th, 2025. Those dates break up a little bit because the week of the 4th of July, we won't meet the 3rd and the 4th, but we'll meet June 30th, July 1st and 2nd. And then you're out, and then we start back that Monday, the 7th through the 11th. So it's not consistently all of those days. And your students, parents, your children will have a specific schedule and we'll update you as well.
June
So-
19th also.
Oh, June 19th. Who knows what June 19th is? Juneteenth, and we gonna celebrate Juneteenth. So, there won't be any classes on that particular day. I think that's a Thursday, am I right? Or Tuesday? Thursday, right, that falls on a Thursday. So that particular Thursday, we will not have classes. Celebrate with your family, okay? This is just a quick kind of overview, so if you want to know, well, you know, I gotta go to work, how early can I drop my student off, my child off? 7:30. So we'll have some supervision at 7:30, we'll have someone available. And we're saying 8:25, because at 8:30, we want to be in class. And we need, we need 5 minutes to get to class, so we want to serve a light breakfast and then get to class, so. We may change that, but we want you to know, it says 8:30, but get there before that. If you want to eat a light breakfast, get there at 7:45 or no later than 10 after 8, if you want to enjoy a light breakfast, okay? So the next thing will be classes. So there'll be 2 classes before lunch and 2 classes after lunch. So classes are 8:30 to 11:05. Both, these classes are an hour and 15 minutes each, okay? Lunch, we'll all eat lunch. We'll get to go to the cafeteria at SLU. So for those of you who haven't been with us, we'll get to go and experience eating in the university's cafeteria. And you'll love it. It's smorgasbord, like you can eat what you want. And on good days, the ice cream machine works. So, that's the lunch, and then classes after that resume at 11:55 a.m. and we go to 2:30. Parents, dismissal is at 2:30. Parents, pickup is at 2:30, okay? We didn't talk about the kids, you can let me know, but usually we like you to pick them up. We don't really like to do public transportation, but if your child is experiencing, they know what to do, see me about bus passes. On Monday, see me about bus passes if that's something you will need for your child, okay? And so Monday, this Monday, listen to me, please, this Monday, June the 2nd, is in person. So this Monday, their students will be there at 7:30. We'll have a light breakfast. We will meet with them in person for things like understanding how to work the Canvas, understanding the schedule, getting a little preview of their courses. We will dismiss at 11:05 on Monday, 11:30. Yeah, but well, actually, we're gonna go to lunch first.
Yeah.
So 11:45. So we'll have lunch at 11:05,
11:05.
and then after lunch, they will be dismissed. Half day this Monday in person. Every Monday after that is virtual. So we want to get them to understand what to do virtually, how to log in, what's expected. Teachers may give them a little scenario or a little overview of what's expected for them to do between that time. And so that's what we'll go over. How do you access that? Your teachers, you're gonna have an assignment, even though you're not in person. I saw this hand up here first.
Drop off will always be here and pick up here in this building.
Yes, drop off. Thank you for saying that because that's different from the previous years. We're not eating breakfast in SLU. We're gonna eat breakfast here. We'll go to lunch in the SLU cafeteria, Grand Hall. We used to get dropped off at Grand Hall. This year, you'll get dropped off right here. We'll double check, but we'll say McGannon, but we're not sure. It may be that they come in here, but we'll be right there on the parking lot. So we'll direct you and you know the first day or so whether we will be able to access McGannon. It's our understanding they were doing something for the summer. So we're not clear on that, but we're fine because we have this building. And this is where all of your classes will be. If we go to McGannon, it was only for breakfast. All your classes will be in this building. I saw a question over here, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Like you say, Monday is gonna be a half day, so they're gonna be released, maybe 11:30.
Yeah, I would say, yes, sir. Mhm.
So for like, if you got two parents that work, how long would they be able to stay to?
That's a good question. Well, I don't know, but you talk to me and maybe we work something out, because I'm gonna work the whole day. So talk to me and we can see if we can work something out, but I don't want them just sitting around for 2-3 hours or to 5 o'clock. We can't do that. But, let's talk and see what we can work out, okay? But good questions. Anybody else? Okay. This is the flyer that most of you received. Ms. Brown? Ms. Brown made this flyer, excellent. This is the flyer that you may have received. And it tells you when we start, the time kind of just tells you what I said. Where St. Louis University, this is Morrissey Hall. Morrissey, 2 R's and 2 S's, Morrissey. And the address here is 3700 Lindell Boulevard, 63108. McGannon is right next door, it's 3750. So either way, like I said, once they show up, we'll probably know for sure Monday. We'll know where to tell you if they're gonna go into McGannon first thing in the morning, or will we serve breakfast here? Okay? Everybody's good on that? Okay, rising 9th through 12th graders. So we have students who did, where are my 8th grade graduates? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Woo! Okay, now here's another question. Were any of you in Math Matters? Woo! Okay, so we had Math Matters at Carlane. And so thank you for being here. We hope that helps you and that you have a good start in algebra in 9th grade. That's our goal. Okay, so we have rising 9th. So you're no longer an 8th grade graduate. You're now a rising 9th grade. High school, woo, right? Okay. So 9th through 12th grade trio students, says breakfast and lunch included. These are the different activities: field trips, college tours, financial literacy. We have the Missouri, Kansas out of town tour and much, much more. You'll hear a little bit more about that. Classes, math, foreign language, science. We'll have book writing. We hope that at the end of this, some of the students or maybe all of them will have started their own book. Okay, so we want writing, yeah. We want writing to be fun. So we want you to get started on your own book. Then we have power moves. Who was here? Anybody experienced power moves last year? Raise your hand if you were here last year. They're coming back with a part 2. And so that's a pretty amazing program. So you know what to expect there. Everyone enjoyed it. I even see you. I know you were a fan. Okay, thank you. So that is happening again. ACT prep and more. If you can, I think you're going to get this information, right, Mr. Child? Are they going to get some of this on the job form?
They're gonna get all.
Okay, you're going to get all of this. But for ETS, if you need to, take a picture of these phone numbers. And we'll talk a little bit more.
It's in the.
Oh, he said you don't have to, it's gonna be in the information you're gonna receive. Okay, what's next, Mr. Todd? Okay. Field trips.
Oh.
Mad Money, Ms. Hill partnered with us for she did the partnership for Mad Money at Lindenwood. This will be our third time doing it. And it's great each time. You never perfect the first time. So some of you ought to be able to really have it together. What is that about? Who can tell me what Mad Money, what was the point of it? Anybody remember? Okay. Okay, it was about you become a person with bills. And this is, you make 1,500 or you make 2,500 a month. And then you got these bills, you got student loans to pay, you got a new car, you got car insurance, whatever, you want to get your nails done, I don't know. But you need to find out, it's called financial literacy. We all need that. We all need that. We need to learn about investing and not just spending. You all heard me say it, right? Yeah, we need to learn about saving or investing, stocks or whatever, so we can accrue financial stability. Okay, so you'll have that. That's what we'll do there. That's at Lindenwood, and then Missouri S&T. So this year on one of our field trips, we're going out of town and I don't know if anybody ever heard of Rolla. S&T University is what we used to call Rolla. So it's a science and technology school. We will spend one Friday going to visit that school as a field trip. Okay? Okay, thank you. What's next? So as a part of Power Uprising, we have additional field trips. We have a field trip with Boeing. We've been there before. Anybody go to Boeing with us before? A few students? Yes, we went to Boeing, what, 2 or 3 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago. We'll also be going to a media center, composition media, and the TV network. Has anyone ever heard of TV network? We'll be going there. And then Rustic Roots Sanctuary. What is that? Can you look at the picture and make a guess as to what is Rustic Roots? What is? Yes, it's a farm. So why are we going there? Food. Somebody mentioned fresh food last year for their app. Am I correct? Those Power Move students talked about not having fresh food in your neighborhoods. So we're going to a farm. It's a Black-owned farm, Rustic Roots. Okay. Okay, so we have, every year, we spend money planning our college tour, because that's what we've done. We go through a touring company, or what do you call it? Yeah, we go through tours. This year, one of our amazing staff, teachers and all of these good things said, I can do that. I'm going to do it this time. And we said, okay, but we have it. But are you sure? And so she planned our college tour. I think Ms. Hill helped her or something with some of your field trips. But I am going to ask Ms. Mary Levitt to come and share these amazing plans that she made, and we did not have to contract an outside agent to do this.
All right, good evening, everybody. So this year we are going to be focusing on Missouri. So earlier we're going to go to Lindenwood and Missouri S&T, but when we go on the tour, June 23rd through 25th, we're going to visit the University of Missouri, Kansas City. We're going to visit the University of Central Missouri and the University of Kansas. Well, Kansas University. While we're doing that, we're also going to stop at a few museums. We are going to go to Breakthrough. We will be looking at the African American Baseball Museum, or the Negro League Baseball Museum. We'll be going to the Jazz Museum as well in Kansas. Kansas City. We'll be going to Worlds of Fun, and there may be a few other things sprinkled in there. Okay, that's it. Last thing, when we go to Warrensburg, they have like a whole day, like a preview day set up for us, and that'll be June 23rd.
So that's why we call it Show Me, because Missouri is what? It's a show me state. So we are kind of touring Missouri, and KU is Kansas, but it's real close. So we want you to see some people want to go far away, but some people don't, they want to go away to college, but not way away. So we want you to see what may be within reach in the state of Missouri. You're still out of St. Louis, but you're still close where you can get home for the holidays, the weekends, family reunion, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all, whatever you do, whatever you celebrate, you can get home to see your mom and your dad and your sibling, your people, your friends or whatever. Okay, thank you. What's next? I think it's you, Mr. Todd. Okay, I'm gonna let Mr. Todd take it from here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Mary. Thank you, parents. Thank you, Ms. Merriweather, for doing everything that you've done to get our tour together. Thank you for all of the other staff that is here, and especially thank you to you students, because this is all about you guys. This is all about you, right? We do this every year because we want to make sure you have a great experience. And we want to make sure that you have, I would like to say lasting friendships, right? Y'all forgive me, I'm not gonna move from behind here because I gotta change the PowerPoint, but lasting friendships is something that I've seen in my years in Talent Search and Upward Bound is that students come, they meet other people that they did not know, and those friendships last, right? I love to watch them once they graduate and they're still in contact with one another. So that's my hope for you this summer, that you meet people that maybe you didn't know. And then all of a sudden you have a relationship with that individual, a friendship that lasts. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the project that we're going to be doing. Well, should I say the platform that we're going to be using this summer called Canvas. Before I do that, I want to ask you guys to please allow me to go backwards just a little bit to the very first slide, because I've been told that we have 19 people that have signed in, and there's far more than 19 people in the room. So once I go back, and I'm gonna say this before I go back, because I know at least I have your attention and you listening, because once I go back, you'll be doing this and you won't be listening to me. But once I go back, what you're gonna see is pretty much this entire PowerPoint slide deck. Okay, so you'll see that at the very bottom is where you're going to put parents, you're going to put your name, your student's name, and we also ask for emergency contact information. And then you'll see that I'm going to go through, and once I get done talking about Canvas, I'm going to go through the discipline slides. When I say discipline, the behavior part of it, no good conversation about fun would be right unless we talked a little bit about behavior. So I'm the person that you guys probably get to love to hate before it's all over. But I want to scroll back. Get your phones out. If you have not done so already, I want you to scan the QR code that's going to be on the very first slide. You can scroll down to the bottom and go ahead and fill out that information. And I'm going to give you maybe 5 or 6 minutes to do that. But I just want to make sure that we get all of that in before we go any further. So this is the QR code. If you could, we've got many of our staff around the room. They can definitely help you if you have questions. If Miss Hill, Dr. Hudson, or Deasia Brown is the person that spoke to you, then your program is Talent Search. Okay, your program is Talent Search. If you came here because you came from either Compton, Drew, or Carlane, your program is definitely Talent Search. If you spoke to Deasia Brown or Dr. Hudson, your program is Talent Search. Okay, I know that was a question that I got a lot earlier. Which program do I click? So make sure you do that. If you click Upward Bound, nobody's gonna be mad at you. We know. Even if you click it wrong, we know. So it's okay. But I want to give you guys a few minutes to do that, and then we'll go on. If you need to come up a little closer to scan this, not a problem. For those of you who are on Zoom, huh? Okay, yeah, for those of you who are on Zoom, then the link is in the chat for you. We had some people that couldn't make it physically, so they're in on Zoom, and that link for you, the same link is in the chat for you.
If you have more than one student, you have to fill it out for each student that is here.
That is correct. So please fill it out for each student that you have present. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Did everybody get a chance to scan this? Does anybody need more time to scan? Okay, all right, I'm gonna move on. Ms. Hill, where's Ms. Hill? Ms. Hill, if you notice any, I'm gonna move on, but if anybody else needs me to go back, please let me know. Okay, all right, we good? All right.
If the parent did not come with the student, we still need to get that information.
Yes,
So if the parent is not here, the student that's here, try to fill out as much as you can because we need to have you logged in. That you attended this meeting.
yes.
Thank you.
This solves a lot of issues for us, you guys. It's attendance. We do it for a lot of reasons. So please, go ahead and do it. As you can see, it's also part of our student agreement, which I'm going to go over a little bit later. Okay. So on Monday, a lot of things are going to happen. Monday is going to be somewhat of an abbreviated day, but we will still do quite a few things. Teachers will take a minute to kind of give you an overview of what your classes are going to look like. We'll also begin to distribute technology. So we'll have some laptops. If you need a laptop, if you absolutely don't have one, then we will be able to provide one for some students, not every, we don't have one for everybody. So we hope that everybody has some sort of a device they can use, either your laptop, phone, tablets, work also, because we're going to be using Canvas. So let me talk to you a little bit about Canvas. How many of you have heard of Canvas before? Okay, who's used Canvas? How many of you have used Canvas? Okay, are you using it in your schools? Yes, yes, okay, cool. So Canvas, some high schools use it. Okay, there are a lot of high schools in the St. Louis area that are using Canvas. There are a lot in St. Louis public that do not use Canvas, but the reason we want to use, good to see you, bro. The reason that we want to use Canvas is because most of the colleges, at least in St. Louis and many of them around the country, use Canvas. Canvas right now is probably the largest online learning platform for colleges and universities. And if you want to be college ready, then part of being college ready is at least being literate in Canvas. So that does not mean that all of your classes are online. You could literally be sitting in class. Those of you who raised your hands, you probably have your in-person in class, but still all of your assignments are on Canvas. Am I right? Yes. So the reason for that is because it's an easy way for your teacher or your professor to organize your learning material. The PowerPoint that you have that they presented in class is right there on Canvas. Any assignments that you need, homework, quizzes, all of those things are right there on Canvas. Research, whatever you need is organized in Canvas. So we're doing it at the high school level so that it's not the first time you see it at the college level. Another reason that we have integrated in our program in the last couple of years, what we're calling Cyber Monday, is because some classes when you are in high school are what they call hybrid. Some are completely online, and there's various types of online classes, but then some are what you call hybrid, where you may have a day where it's online and a day where you're in class. So we're trying to give you on this college campus a very wide access, I guess I was gonna say, to what it's like to be on a college campus. St. Louis University, by the way, is one of those universities that use Canvas. Harris-Stowe uses Canvas, St. Louis Community College uses Canvas, Maryville uses Canvas, Harris-Stowe uses Canvas. A lot of college campuses use Canvas, and so we want you to be ready for it whenever it comes up. You're very organized, it's easy to communicate. Teachers can send messages through Canvas. Parents, you can actually observe what's going on in your student's class during Canvas, very much like you can do with Tyler Assist. You can work on it anytime. Canvas is an app, so you can download it on your phone. So anything that your teacher puts in Canvas is right there on the app. There's a teacher app, a student app, and a parent app. So there's no reason anybody can't get access to whatever it is that they need. Learning is very engaged. There's that video that your teacher showed in class is going to also be right there on Canvas, right? So if you go home and you're wondering, man, I wish I could go back to that video. What video was it? Well, guess what? They showed it to you in Canvas. So you can always go back and check it. You can check your grades and all your processes. If you want to know what your current grade is, you can see it right there. We're not giving grades over the summer, by the way. So this is not a class where you're going to get grades. We're just doing this so that you can, kind of get accustomed to using Canvas. So don't worry, this is not a pass, fail, or ABCD. But we will have little assignments for you to do as you go out, or as you go throughout the year. All right, so Ms. Harris has already talked a little bit about our arrival procedures, so I won't spend too much time on that one. We're going to be dropping off right here between 7:30 and say 8 o'clock or so. If you want to have a little light breakfast, it won't be anything too heavy like it was last year. If you were with us last year, we're not doing it that way this year. It's a little different, but we're going to still have something to eat. And we're just asking that if you're not going to be able to make it on time, if you feel like you may be late, then you can reach out to Ms. Harris or myself. At the end of the PowerPoint slides that you have on your phones, where you scan the QR code, at the very end, you'll see the phone numbers for ETS that you can use and the phone numbers for Upward Bound that you can use if you need to reach out to us. So that's something that you'll get the moment you hit that submit button. It's in your email box. So make sure your email is correct in there. But also, of course, you can feel free to take a picture of this slide and you can text or call us anytime you need to. Coming home from field trips, parents, may be a little different, right? So field trips will be on Fridays. There may be days where we come back a little later than that 2:30 time slot. I know there's one day, for example, that we're going to go to Worldwide Technology, for example, and that's going to probably be a little after 2:30 because we're coming back. And I know at the time we leave, we're going to hit traffic. So just kind of be aware. And normally what we'll do is have your child to text you or call you to let you know we're on the way. And we'll try to give you a little bit of a heads up too that day so that you know what time we'll be back. Pickup though will always be here. That part won't change. So we'll always pick up from here unless something unforeseen happens. We'll be picking up here at McGannon. Any questions so far? Y'all good? Because I haven't got to the nasty part yet. This is all the serious fun stuff. Okay. All right. So this is pretty much a schematic of the building. Let me show you because you can see it here. This is McGannon where everybody is used to coming to. This is the parking lot. And this is the building that we're in now, Morrissey Hall. So that's why we say we'll still be picking up here. Whether you go to McGannon or Morrissey, when you pulled up, you can see. So we're here all the time. This is where we're eating lunch in Grand Hall. So when Ms. Harris talks about lunch, this is where we'll be. But then we'll walk back over here after lunch. Okay, so yes, ma'am. Yep.
On Monday, when we eat lunch, what you?
Oh.
I'm thinking on Monday, they can pick them up.
Just missed from Grand, yeah. So that is true. So Monday says Monday is different. When we eat lunch Monday, and this will be the only time we do that, pardon me, we will dismiss from Grand. So you'll probably want to come pick your student up here on the corner of Laclede. This is Laclede here and Grand. So we'll be in this gangway. It's safe off the street here, and you can just come pick them up right here at Laclede and Grand. The cafeteria is inside this building, right? So you can just feel free to come pick them up. We'll be in this gangway here. I say over here, I'm sorry, but we'll be here. And you just pull up here and your student will be there waiting for you. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Drive, do they have somewhere to park?
Yes, ma'am. So if that's a very good question. There is there's on-street parking, right? So you would have to park on the street if they're driving. And anything else other than that is a risk that, be outside of Talent Search and Upward Bound. But they're welcome to drive. We did have a few students to drive, I think, a couple of years. Some of them parked further away and walked up if they feel comfortable doing that. But yes, ma'am, it's on the street. It's a meter, right? It's a meter. It's a
So they
meter.
have to go park like on the other side of the Wendy's, or what is that?
It's a Rallies.
Rally.
So some students parked over there at the Rallies across the street, up,
But there's no-
up Lindell. Like up this way, Rallies is up this way somewhere. And they would park up there by the AAA and walk up, you know. But even still, keep in mind that that's a private lot. So that's what I'm saying is they can do that, but I don't want to put our name on it. Yes, ma'am. Very good question, though. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say there's a parking structure right across the rec center.
So there is parking here and in this garage, that is correct. There's a parking, but you still pay.
You still pay, yeah.
Yeah, you still pay. So that's probably better than the meter, right? Getting the ticket. It's just that I don't know how much that would be for the day like that. Because you know, sometimes we even have issues going in and out of this. We just run the risk and do it every day. But that is, you can pay there. Now, how much it is, I don't know. Does anybody know how much that is? I don't.
It's not that much.
It's not.
No.
Okay, you sound like a man that's kind of familiar with it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with how much it is, but I do know that you can park in that meter, in that garage, ma'am, so that's an option. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes they don't check, but I don't want to throw that out there as a guarantee.
Yeah.
You know, because you never know. But sometimes they don't check. Sometimes you just, you know, God is on your side and it just kind of happens. Yeah. Huh? I don't know. Yeah. Do you know?
Yeah.
$2 an hour. $2 an hour is what she just said it is. Yeah, for the garage. Okay. Any other questions before I move on? Those are some good ones. Okay. All right. Okay, so dismissal, we've already touched on that. I won't go over that again. Just if you're gonna be late, let us know. This dismissal here is at 2:30. We won't leave your child alone, so don't feel bad about that. We don't leave children alone by themselves. So somebody will stay with them. But, you know, just let us know if you're gonna be late. So that we can, you know, make the right arrangement, especially if you know ahead of time. If you know like a day or two in advance, please let us know. We can always make a different type of arrangement. Okay, let me go over conduct. And there's a few C's that I want to talk about. And our first one is conduct and conversation. Our students are scholars. They're very good kids. So I know for the most part, this is going to be falling on like preaching to the choir. But we do expect for students to behave in a certain way. When you are on the campus, when you're talking to other adults, when you're talking to other students, we want to use positive language. I personally do not want to hear any negative language. I don't want to hear any language that's not fitting for a student either. So let's make sure that we're using the right type of conversation, the right type of conduct. Sometimes, especially our boys like to do a little horseplaying. We want to make sure that we keep all of that under control. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Our classes this year, you guys, just like last year, will take place in this building. So parents, I want you to know, and I need you to understand, at the end of the QR code, I asked every parent, Ms. Harrison, I wanted everybody to kind of be aware. So that's why we wanted a signature there. That we're asking for some good adult-like, college student-like conduct. Why? Because in this building, there will be actual college classes going on. There will be students over the summer going to St. Louis University, paying $1 gazillion to take their classes. And we don't want students running through the halls being loud, and those students are trying to hear. Right, they're being courteous to us. We did have an incident last year where they had to speak to us about it. Nothing happened, right? Nothing happened. But be mindful that other students are in the building. It's not us alone. Does everybody got me? Any questions on that? Okay. Because we want you to be here. We want you to have a great time, but we want you to also realize that this is a college experience for you. You're learning what it's like to be in a college environment. So it's kind of serious, okay? So we want everybody to kind of take it that way. All right, so That means using appropriate voice levels. Cell phone use. I mentioned that I would like for everybody to have access to some sort of a device. So in your class, your teacher may ask for you to use your cell phone, right? We have Wi-Fi in the building. You'll be able to get on the Wi-Fi in the building. But here's what I would not like to see. I would not like to see headphones. One of the biggest things that our teachers have reached out about is when you're in class, removing your headphones. Why? Because even when you tell us, I told y'all that I was gonna be the guy that you probably didn't want to talk to. That, I mean, it's been all sweet. Miss Harris will be back in a minute. Y'all get the sweet part back in just a second. Let's just deal with this rough for just a little bit. When you're in class, even if you're listening, even if your music is not on, when you tell me that you hear me, I don't believe you. I don't believe you because your headphones are on. So to me, you're listening to something else other than me. If you have an obstruction over your ear, which means that 100% of what I'm saying may not be getting in. Then when I ask you, what did I say? I heard what you said. Or, well, tell me what I just said. You said that the sky was purple. No, I didn't. I said that the sky was green. Right? So I want you to be able to hear me. And your teachers want you to be able to hear you. The program for you is free. For you. But it ain't free for us. I did say it ain't free. I'm sorry, Ms. Harris. It's not free for us, right? So we're paying for you to have a college experience. Your teachers, I got to say this before I move on, spend a lot of time. Teachers go to, these teachers that you have work full-time in schools too, right? So they go to school and they teach from 7 to 2 in some cases. Okay, but guess what? They don't just show up and all of the information just come out of nowhere. What they do is they spend the night a week or two before preparing for that one class that you go to where you choose not to pay attention or you have your headphones on and they spend a whole lot of hours preparing for it and you're not paying attention. They feel disrespected. I'm saying what they won't say, so y'all can be mad at me, throw the tomatoes at me. But when you go to their class, just respect them, right? Remove your headphones, pay attention, keep your noise level down. You will have a chance to interact with your peers. You'll have a chance to have fun, and we want you to have a whole lot of fun, trust me. Because I love to laugh, right? I like to have a lot of fun, and they'll tell you that all my jokes are bad. I tell a whole lot of bad jokes. I have a whole lot of dad jokes, but I know that. But if we can do that, so if you hear me, if everybody heard what I said, clap one time. Very good. If you plan on paying attention and doing what I just asked you to do, clap one time. Very good. If you don't think that you can do it, clap 2 times. It was the kid with the embarrassed mom. I'm not gonna point her out. No, I'm just playing. I'm just giving you a hard time. I told you I like to laugh. You know, I'm just playing. I'm just joking around. So listen, arrive on time. On time means that when class starts, your bottom is already in the chair, right? So if your class starts at 8:30, you're not walking through the door at 8:30, you're seated at 8:30. That's on time. Everybody with me? Hello? Yeah. I just need you 5 more minutes. See, I'm gonna tell y'all like I tell my church, the quicker you say hello and thank you, the sooner I leave, right? If you prolong all of that, then I stay up here another 20 minutes and don't nobody want that, right? So as soon as I ask y'all, just say yeah, and I just move on. I know, they can hear me. I hope, I'm talking loud. So everybody with me? All right, on time is seated. Participate, stay engaged, respect the presenter. That's kind of what I was going over earlier. Food is cool. The thing with food is, particularly in certain areas, we don't want, like in our computer lab, no liquids, anything like that. I don't think we have a problem with drinking water or something like that in the class. I don't think that's an issue. But that's important. So you got to drink in designated areas. I want to talk a little bit about displays of affection and how they should be appropriate. Yes, Yes.
We may have water bottles, like water bottles, but we didn't order water bottles because last year I found them everywhere.
Nobody used them. Yeah,
No
they
one
was.
used them. So we did not order water bottles. So please, that's wrong. They will not be providing water bottles. So they can bring their own water bottles. They can fill it up in the cafeteria, or they can buy or have one like this from bring it from home. Thank you.
Yes, but if you're in the computer lab, sit it on the floor. Make sense? Because I don't want you to spill it over. I cannot write SLU a check. If I write SLU a check, it's gonna be one of them basketball checks. Like OKC doing right now, right? But nobody got that. See, man, you gotta be a Oklahoma City fan. Okay, but anyway, drink only in designated areas. The appropriate displays of affection. What do we mean by that? I recognize we didn't get to be 54 and like in my case, skipping over high school, right? I was once in high school. So I know that, you know, people fall in love and you wanna, you know, hold hands and cuddle and all of that. But we're not gonna do that, okay? What I would like for you to do is when you see your boo in the hallway, right? Or if you sitting with your boo in class with you, say, hey, how you doing? You know, I don't want to see all of them, right? We just want our displays of affection to be appropriate. That includes between friends. And here's what I mean. Sometimes, I mentioned this a minute ago about the fellas. Sometimes an inappropriate display of affection amongst us fellas is we like to do like play fight type stuff. That's our way of saying, you know, I'm cool with this guy. So we go over there and do something silly and it break out into us running down the hall. That's an inappropriate display of affection. Okay. When you see your guy in the hall and you want to speak to him, just say something, just say hello. Right. But let's not do anything that's going to break out into us being overly playful. You all with me? Yeah. We just dragging out. I know y'all hurting. Somebody out there right now ready to throw a tomato. Like, when is this dude gonna be finished? Y'all doing good. If you heard me, clap one time. That's half the room. If the other half heard me, y'all clap one time. They didn't hear me. Okay, before we go on, let's talk really briefly about alcohol, tobacco, and other forms of marijuana. I know that in the state of Missouri, marijuana use is legal. But if you're not of the appropriate age, it's not legal for you. Correct? Right. So that means that don't come with anything like that. But Mr. Todd, what had happened was my people smoke. It ain't me. Again, I didn't get to be 54 jumping over 16. So I know the difference between you smoking and your people smoking. My dad used to smoke. Let me just bring it home. So I know the difference between me going to school smelling like his smoke and me going to school smelling like my smoke. Hello? Okay, I'm just saying. Y'all gonna get back to the fun in just a second. We're gonna get back to the field trips and stuff in a minute. But I need to make sure we're clear on that. We will give you a warning, but it won't be too many. Okay? We cannot have that behavior. We won't be able to do. That's inappropriate. It's actually illegal to do that when you're not of age. Okay, so if you're focused and if you're paying attention, then none of those things will happen, right? Dress. We would like for our young men and young ladies to wear clothing that is appropriate for the occasion. Most of us wouldn't go to prom looking a certain way. So it's the same thing when you go into a business or a school or environment. You want to go looking a certain way. You want to go with your best scholastic look on. I'm not saying you got to wear a shirt and a tie, although I would like for more people to aspire to do that, right? I like to wear shirt and ties. That's how my dad dressed, and that's how I tended to dress. But you don't have to. We're not asking for that. We just ask for it to be appropriate, okay? We don't want anything that you're wearing to draw attention that's unwanted attention in any way. Shirts, for example, shouldn't have any language on it that's offensive. You know, clothing should cover everything that's important. I'm just keeping it plain. I told y'all they put me up here to do the nasty part. I'm just keeping it plain. Can we keep it real?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just want to make sure that everything that's important to you is covered up, right? Because it's not everybody else's, we don't need to know. That's men and girls. That's not just the girls. I'm not talking to just the girls. I know what the slides say, but I know how men dress too. Boys dress, we can get out there also. So I'm just saying, make sure everything is covered. And make sure that you're dressed appropriately, even your footwear. So we're going to be doing a lot of walking. And sometimes, to me, slides are not really appropriate for walking on a campus because you're walking a lot of distance. To me, that seems like uncomfortable, but kids do it. And so I try to understand it. I come from a different school of thought, but try to wear shoes that are comfortable for walking, right? Because we will be doing a lot of walking. We always do. Gentlemen, no do-rags. Ladies, no satin caps, house shoes, or sleepwear while we're on the campus. Now, when we do our overnight, please put on your do-rag, your sleepwear, and all of that, house shoes, what have you. But when you come here, and you know what? I know that it sounds crazy, but let me say one of the reasons that this is important. The reason that appropriate dress is important, because I know all of y'all are thinking about this is my clothes and I can dress how I want to. But let me explain to you why that's important. When you're on a college campus or you go to a business, whether you like it or not, people judge you. Whether the world should judge you or shouldn't judge you, the world judges you. And the world judges you based on how you look. So what you have to do is be wise enough to know how to play the game. We're here to teach you academics, but we also want you to learn how to win the game of life. Does that make sense? Hello? If the louder you speak, the quicker I finish.
Yeah.
So when you learn to play the game of life, then you win. And part of that is, especially, I know this isn't an HBCU, but especially when you go to HBCUs, they're looking and they're saying, oh, we'll give that one a scholarship. They know how to speak, but we won't give that one. We remember, right? And I'm telling you, it happens. I've seen it happen. Well, they'll remember a student that was on the campus, won't be giving that one. They can't stop you from being admitted, but you won't use that necessarily get the scholarship. So you want to meet people, like people, have people to like you, and that's one way you do it. Have a mindset of networking all the time because you never know who you're going to meet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I preach a hole in it. I'm trying to tell you. They got the right one up here. Okay. So this is the end. This is what being a summer scholar is all about. We want to have the correct conduct, curriculum, conversation, and clothing. Does anybody have any questions about what I've gone over so far? Does anybody want to throw a tomato or a raw egg at me? Yes, ma'am. You got to.
I just wanted to add, last year, for some reason, it may have been just one person, someone thought it was okay to write on the desk. Don't do that. You don't want anyone writing on your stuff. So just be, aware of what is appropriate. SLU lets us have our whole program here and they don't charge us to rent the room.
That's right.
Or to use the computer. So we want to leave it as it was when we came. We want to leave it clean and we don't want any, permanent marker. And we're trying to figure out how to get this off the desk. So please don't do that. And then I'm just saying, be mindful of that. That happened last year. I'm not saying you need to think of that. The other thing is, if your parents said you have a doctor's appointment today, I need to pick you up at 11:20 and I'll bring you back, or I'm not coming back. Parents, we need to know that. Let us know. We don't want to look up and, okay, where did they go? And then we find out, oh, they had to leave and go to something legitimate, but we're worried. Like, what happened?
Right.
So we need to know, parents, we need to let us know that you're picking up your child for something, okay? Or, your child can come up to us and have you on the phone, yeah, my mom's gotta take me, so I gotta go to an interview or whatever. That's okay, but we need to know, okay? I think that's all.
Well, since you said that, I just want to add one other thing to a couple other things. When we leave classrooms, and she made a mention, I just want to underscore, when you go to class and you leave the class, take anything that you have with you, not just your personal items, because you don't want to lose things like headphones, which by the way, if you guys have them, please bring them with you this summer, because we will have use. I know for one class for sure, Ms. Middleton asked me that. But take any trash, like try not to leave any trash behind. If you empty your water bottle, take it with you and throw it away, right? Because we do have to, when we leave the classroom, like I said, another class comes in, St. Louis University class. So we want to leave the classes the way we found them. And the other thing is, if you work, if you have a job and you want to be off during the time that you're here, if you feel like work could impede you, then let us know, because we will write letters, right? We'll write a letter and let your job know that you'll be with us over the summer, from this time to that time, so that you can be here instead of going to work. And then when you leave here, then you go to work, if that's what you choose to do. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying that you can do that. Did I leave anything out?
The backup and talk about the form, the housekeeping. Did you tell them that they're gonna get they know they're gonna get the job form, is that?
Yes, this is the last slide on here.
Okay, on mine, I have forms and other housekeeping, talent, the summer scholar agreement, field trip authorization.
Yeah, I think that you made it.
That's a part of your.
So
Parents, make sure you scan the QR code. I know you've heard that a million times, but that will give you access to forms and information. Am I correct, Mr. Tyler?
it does. This is the one, if for whatever reason it was hidden. But it says talent search, but it's for both of our programs. Because in there, in the form, in the QR code that you signed, does anybody need me to go back to that QR code? Was everybody, okay, I can go back. What's in there is this entire PowerPoint, number one. But at the very end, we are asking you, like I said before, for emergency contact information, your parent name, number, and email address, because we want to have that updated. If you have an emergency person, if anything were to happen, the form requires that you put 2 emergency contacts in there, but there's a space for a third. Okay, so we would like for that to happen. And I didn't put the health forms in there, but you guys will probably hear about that a little later. Yes. One other thing real quick, and when you hit submit, I'm sorry. Once you hit submit, you'll also get a copy of this. Okay, so you'll see that it'll be in your email box, so make sure you put that in there correctly. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Is this a way to sign up for the summer program so we know when students can participate?
This isn't a way to sign up for the summer programs, it's just sign in. Right, this isn't sign up, it's sign in. Does that make sense? Yeah, so your sign up was when you guys registered with that flyer that's on here. Very good question.
Your information has changed, particularly your email and phone number. We will text you information, we will email you information.
That's the sign up.
If it has changed, I guess you got this information, so maybe it didn't. But if it did, let us know, update it, because sometimes you're not getting information and it's because maybe your phone number changed or something.
Yes,
Bring that up.
which is the other reason that we want you to do that form, because it'll help update. Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So there are some other things with behavior. I think if you get this, you're fine. You are scholars, you are amazing, and we want you to conduct yourselves accordingly. When we go on the college tour, if you get to go on the college tour, there are sometimes rules like, why are you going outside to pick up a order or delivery from DoorDash or whatever? And you just left eating. We don't know, suppose somebody snatches you off the front. Those things are no, I'm just giving one example. You should not be hungry. We feed you. You know, if you want some snacks, there'll be opportunity for you to get some chips or whatever and take them to your room. But I don't want anyone find somebody outside of the hotel waiting for their wing stop. After we said, don't, you can't do that. Parents, just so you know, we have 2 security guards in the hotel to help us, so we can sleep at least 3 hours, so we can function the next day. I'm just joking. But we can go to sleep a little bit. So, you know, I don't want the security guard knocking on my door saying those people in room 305. And I'm just gonna say that here openly. You have to obey the rules. You have to be safe. You are representing yourself, your parents, and HEC trio programs. And sometimes people are waiting to see all of these kids, you know, to mess up. Some hotel, they did this, they did that. No, one time, I'm just gonna tell you one thing real quick. One time we spent the night here. Remember, Mr. Todd, some group had some Gatorade or something? Somebody, they had some drink, maybe I remember, and the first person they come to ask was me. Did your group take the
Oh,
drinks out of they were in there?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you didn't. No, my people, and they didn't. I was like, well, let me check, but I didn't say that to them, because I was standing, I'm an
I do
advocate for
remember that.
you. But when you act up, you in trouble, because I'm trusting you to do, but it wasn't us, but for some reason, because we had a big group, you know, whatever, they came to us to ask us if we took the Gatorade and drinks out of the refrigerator. And there are other people here, why did you come to me? So I love you all,
mm-hmm,
and I'm your greatest advocate. I will protect you with everything that I've got, but I will.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
With the kids that will be out of town, or the parents allowed to go?
Good question. We have, you can't be on the bus with us. If you want to drive and pay for your hotel and kind of be a part, and I'm gonna introduce our head person in a few minutes. I don't know if if you're separate from us, you don't have to fill out any background check or anything.
Right.
If you're intermingling, we have to keep our kids safe. We never know who's in the group. So if you're not with us, I would say no. I would say, you know, let your child go. Now, if you want to go, that's fine, but you'd have to have your own transportation, pay for your own hotel. And now your child could stay with you in your hotel, but you can't go on the bus or be an actual part. But talk to us a little later. Sometimes it's good to see what the colleges are like. Parents do need to know what the colleges are like. Okay. So let me, where you gonna start?
That was the end. That's all I had. I wanted to bring up, you want to bring up,
Yeah, I'm gonna introduce to you Mrs. Sandra Pinkston. She is our Executive Director and the CEO of Higher Education Consortium, and she is here with us tonight. Ms. Pinkston.
So many new faces and familiar faces. What I wanted to share with you guys, and I know you've been listening to the news about all the major cuts in federal funding and great programs like our TRIO program. One of the cuts that has been discussed, Department of Education, and this is in Trump's 2027 budget, was to eliminate the TRIO program. Now, our program and field programs across the country have been meeting weekly, having conversations, and beginning a writing campaign. So you will get from me in the next week or two information about how you can reach out to your representative and talk about how great the TRIO program is, and especially our TRIO program here at HEC. And we would love to have students, you write letters, talk about how you have had great experiences here. Parents, please support the programs as well and share it with your family and friends. We feel confident that we're gonna fight and win this battle, but we never know, you know, what happens. You know, a lot of times, a lot of programs were cut, and people were sent home and was fired, then they came back. So right now, we're still on the high end. The expectation is that there's conversation that the program can end maybe in about 2 years or so. But again, as a program, nationwide, we are fighting that. We have legal team and lawyers ready to go to battle for us across the nation. And our program will be in that safe zone. So when we win this battle, our program will also win as well. But until that happens, we really need you guys to help us by writing letters. You should with other family and friends and also write letters. You should with me by the end of next week. Any questions? All right, great. We got many more years of this program.
I have a question for Ms.
Yes, ma'am.
The field trip forms, is this the whole thing? Because it's usually a different form of field trips.
Yes, that's it.
That's all?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Yes, ma'am. Wait, man.
Agents of change. So I just wanted to say, Xavier, stand up, Ms. Bell. Julius, they actually did a video advocating for the TRIO programs that was shown in Washington, DC. Ms. Lauren Hill went there and they advocated for us. Any seniors, Ms. Brown, I know you have to go, Ms. Brown, I want you to talk about the possibility of a senior today, get ready with me for college. Can you come and say something about it? Here's one, but.
So for anyone who has seniors in TRIO, we are doing a 2-day sort of get ready with me for college. So it'll be 2 days and you'll be learning about the college experience, first days of being at college, financial literacy, scholarships, and just sort of really getting a head start on what's going to actually be like in college. I'm going to be sort of overseeing it. Yes, graduating senior, so not going into seniorship, but if you're graduating senior, so you would have graduated the past few weeks.
We stop at our table out front, our EOC program, so any parent that wants to learn more about how to get back into college, how to get scholarships for the FAFSA for yourself and your students, please check the table out front and also learn more about our alumni program.
Yes, I just wanted to ask if you all could give us a hand, please. It may have been said, I might not have heard it. You all can just make sure that there's any paper on the floor. If you can make sure to just take it with you. And if anybody wants to be an extra helper and that is not by you, that would really help us out, please. Thank you so much. Just stack your boxes up beside the trash can.
I want to say this. If you have to go to summer school, if you are, if your report card and your attendance is not upward to be, you might have to wait to be a part of the program. Okay, but you need to make up those credits. We want you to graduate. All right. There are behavior issues. I think that's not the case with everybody that's here, but great. Thank you.
Hey, I'm doing good. No, ma'am. How you doing? It's good to see you. I'm responding to this, mama.
Even early.